Two Graves Season 1 Episode 2 deepens the mystery surrounding Veronica's disappearance while taking viewers on a disturbing journey through Isabel's increasingly desperate search for answers. The episode picks up right after Isabel's shocking attack on Beltrán in her basement, setting a tense tone from the first scene. Seferino, Isabel's persistent neighbor with romantic intentions, shows up at her door with gifts and insists on using her bathroom. Isabel panics, desperately trying to keep him out, while an emergency call is visible on her phone screen. This moment immediately establishes the stakes. Isabel has crossed a line into criminal territory, and her carefully maintained facade is beginning to crack. The investigation into Beltrán's disappearance quickly becomes the episode's central focus. When Sergeant Zara visits Isabel, she learns that Beltrán made an emergency call from Isabel's property before vanishing. Isabel plays innocent, suggesting that Seferino, who she dismisses as a creep who won't leave her alone, made a false report out of spite. The tension ratchets up when police search Isabel's home and find blood traces leading to her kitchen. When they open her freezer, there's a chilling moment as they discover something suspicious inside. Isabel quickly claims it belongs to her son, who supposedly filled it for his restaurant. But viewers understand the implication. She may have disposed of Beltrán's body in the most gruesome way possible. Meanwhile, the case takes an unexpected turn when sexually explicit photos of Verónica and Beltrán at a party are discovered on Beltrán's computer and subsequently leaked to the press. This revelation sends shockwaves through the small community of Fragiliana and devastates Verónica's younger sister, Lupe. The photos confirm what Beltrán told Isabel before she attacked him, that the girls were attending parties with wealthy and influential men. What seemed like a random act of violence against two innocent girls is revealed to be something far more complex, involving powerful people who might have wanted to silence the girls. Lupe's storyline becomes increasingly tragic as she struggles to cope with both the loss of her sister and now the public defamation of Verónica's memory. She's always lived in Verónica's shadow, feeling that her grandmother Isabel favored her sister. Verónica's your favorite granddaughter. Isn't that what it says in your phone? She asks Isabel bitterly, pointing out the countless photos of Verónica around the house compared to just one of herself. The emotional climax of her story comes when she asks Isabel the impossible question, if you could have chosen, which of us would you have rather died? Isabel responds powerfully, the one who ruined our lives wasn't Verónica. It was whoever killed her. The media frenzy over the leaked photos proves too much for Lupe, who attempts suicide by taking 2 packs of pills. She's saved, but the incident underscores the far-reaching trauma of Verónica's disappearance. At the hospital, Lupe expresses her wish to see her sister again, saying, "I want to be with her," which alarms Isabel and Antonio. Lupe's pain is palpable as she confesses, "I miss her so much. I need to talk to her, even just once." In her quest for the truth, Isabel tracks down information about the mysterious third girl with a mark on her face, mentioned by Beltrán. At her old workplace, the high school, Isabel discovers this girl is Jamila Abdallah, an Algerian student who left Fragiliana shortly after Verónica and Marta's disappearance. This connection confirms Carlos Jane's later description of an Arab-looking girl with a mark on her face, who left the party with Verónica and Marta. Isabel becomes convinced that finding Jamila is the key to discovering what really happened that night. Isabel forms an unlikely alliance with Rafael Salazar, Marta's father, a man with a criminal reputation who seems to have his own methods of getting information. After Isabel forces him to dispose of something from her freezer, presumably Beltrán's remains, they agree to work together. Rafael arranges a confrontation with Carlos Jaén, the TV personality Beltrán mentioned as having been with the girls. The scene is brutal. Carlos is being held captive in a dark, remote location, clearly terrified and begging for his life. When Isabel appears, Carlos finally confesses that he was at the party with the girls but insists he didn't harm them. According to his account, Marta began feeling sick, and Verónica took her away along with Jamila. The three of them left together. He insists, desperately trying to convince Isabel and Rafael of his innocence. The relationship between Isabel and Rafael is fascinatingly complex. They're united by grief and the desire for vengeance, yet there's a clear tension between them. Rafael seems more comfortable with violence and intimidation, while Isabel, despite her shocking actions with Beltrán, still maintains some moral boundaries. When Rafael threatens Carlos with a car crusher, Isabel ultimately walks away, having gotten the information she needed, confirmation about Jamila Abdallah. As the episode approaches its conclusion, the emergency services release the recording of Beltrán's call, which features a distinctive whistling sound in the background. Seferino confronts Isabel, making it clear he recognizes the whistling as something he heard at her house. He threatens to expose her unless she agrees to his romantic advances, saying, "You're going to make me do something I don't want to." This additional pressure further complicates Isabel's already precarious situation as she tries to both find her granddaughter's killer and avoid being caught for her own crimes. The episode's final scene delivers a shocking twist that reframes everything we've seen so far. At the hospital, as Lupe expresses her desperate wish to see her sister one more time, Isabel makes a stunning revelation: Verónica is alive. This bombshell changes the entire narrative of the series. If Verónica didn't die that night, where has she been for the past 2 years? Why hasn't she contacted her family? And what really happened to Marta? The revelation suggests that Isabel has been searching not for her granddaughter's killer, but for her granddaughter herself, who may have been involved in something dark enough to make her disappear from her own life. This twist also casts Isabel's violent actions in a new light. Her attack on Beltrán wasn't just about revenge for a murdered granddaughter. It was about finding a missing one. The desperation of a grandmother searching for answers takes on a different dimension when there's hope that her loved one might still be found alive. It also raises questions about what Isabel knows that she hasn't shared with her family or the police, and how long she has known that Verónica might be alive. Two Graves Season 1 Episode 2 masterfully deepens the mystery while raising the emotional stakes. Isabel's journey from grieving grandmother to vigilante avenger is complicated by the revelation that Verónica may still be alive. The episode explores how trauma affects families differently. Antonio trying to hold things together, Lupe struggling with her sister's shadow and now her tarnished reputation, and Isabel going to extreme lengths to uncover the truth. A connection to powerful men and secret parties suggests a conspiracy that reaches beyond the small town of Fragiliana. And the mystery of Jamila Abdallah offers a new lead that might finally bring answers. As Isabel declares to Sergeant Zara, what Lupe needs is for her sister's murderer to pay for what he did. But if Verónica is alive, the question becomes who is the real victim and who is the true villain in this story?